This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, I got a question for you right up top because you were just diddling around with your phone for good cause. You weren't being a jerk. You were trying to start a timer so we know. So otherwise, this thing could go on for days.
Or we might do 5 minutes and not know, and just be like, well, that's the episode.
Well, that's that. Yeah. I have horrible time perception.
Oh, really?
Like time passing, I feel like it's always changing for me.
I often want to brag about how good I am about estimating time.
Tim, the human metronome.
Yeah. And I don't know. I got really good rhythm. I'm a great dancer.
Yeah. And in your head, you're always going 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Kind of am.
I think that is that's in the psychiatric manual under known disorders.
Well, what happened to me was I was a drummer. And when I was younger, I mean, I guess I still am a drummer. I play the drums. But when I was younger, they were like, oh, here's how you get good time when you're learning how to play the drums.
Count to 4
No.
day?
Sleep with a metronome under your pillow.
Okay.
So, you hear just a clicking, click, click on a certain tempo, and that's how, you learn consistent tempos.
So you slept with a metronome at 200 BPM every
I'd switch it up, man. One day, my dreams were crazy. So I'm sorry. So yeah, I do. But Tom, if you were just like, hey, close your eyes.
Count to 10 and tell me how many seconds passed.
No. Close your eyes and you can give me any time. Don't tell me when 20 minutes is up.
What? Tim,
I can get between I'm not a crazy person. I'd probably get between 18 and 22 minutes. But that a standard deviation of 2, I don't know. I'd be pretty good, I think. I think I'd be all right.
Okay. That is also a real good way to rob you or something.
Why?
Close your eyes and tell me when 20 minutes is up.
Yeah.
You can just do that anywhere with you.
I mean, yeah. I want to show off how good I am at estimating time, so I guess that's my one weakness.
See, and
you've turned my biggest strength into my greatest weakness.
You've spent years criticizing me, saying that I don't know how to juggle. Tim, we should do a live spectacular where you sit on stage with your eyes closed and wait till 20 minutes is up.
But it'll have to be completely silent for that.
Yeah, and I juggle. Well, I juggle very quietly, so it'd be okay.
Get those silent juggling balls?
The ones I have aren't very loud.
This is BS, man.
No, if anything, it would help you because I juggle till I think you could set your watch to my juggling. That's what makes it easier.
I think this is a trick, just as before you were saying you were going to rob me. Now I think this is to end our long-standing question of whether or not you can juggle. I have to observe it with my eyes closed for some reason.
Yeah, the 20 minutes are up, and then you can open your eyes and be like, I think that was 20 minutes. I'll be like, it was 24 minutes, and I was juggling the whole time without even one miss.
Tom, a moment in my life that I think about every single day of my life. It happened about a year ago.
Okay.
I was bragging to somebody that if I could just read the blurb under a Pitchfork review,
you could say what it was, what it was about.
No.
Okay.
So Pitchfork reviews albums on a 1 to 10 scale with by tenths of a point. Mm-hmm. And if I could just on the front page where it'll be Nirvana, Nevermind, and then it'll be in this seminal album, Nirvana really shows their stuff, right? And then you click on it, and then you read their article.
Is this an actual headline?
Yeah, this is vaunted.
A new review. Nirvana really shows off their stuff.
But I said, before you click on that, I could guess what the
score is going to be just
based
on the blurb.
Based on the blurb, within 0.2 and somebody called me on it. A new friend. I had made a new friend, and he was like,
"Yeah, right.
Cool, let me see it." Mm-hmm. And I beefed it 4 times in a row, and every day I was just like, why did I think that Ariana Grande was a 7.1?
Yeah, you really made an ass out of yourself, huh?
I really did, and I kept going back for more. This is like a
doubling
double
down.
or nothing.
Yeah, that's how you wind up in debtor's prison.
Tom, you were gonna ask me something about my phone.
Oh, on the first screen of your Apple iPhone.
Yeah.
You've got an empty slot. You don't have it full of apps.
Oh yeah.
What the hell, man? Put an app in that slot. That's driving me crazy.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows.
6 rows.
Plus the home row. In the 6th row.
Yes.
I have an empty spot. You want to know what happened?
What happened?
An app that I used stopped updating. And so I had to take it out. And then I don't know. This is prime real estate.
Oh, of course.
It's kind of, I've been auditioning, I've been kind of trying to evaluate day by day. I've been keeping a tally of how often I open all the apps on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th pages.
Oh,
and the most used app, it's gonna get that.
That's what gets the slot.
Yeah, it's a merit-based system, Tom.
So, do you have on your second screen? Are those your second most used apps, or is it just kind of a no man's land?
Yeah, it's a free for all. It's a real foo for all. Because here's the thing: if I'm not gonna get something on the first try, I'm gonna swipe down and I'm gonna search for
spotlight for it,
exactly.
Baby. Yeah, that's what I do. After the first page, a complete chaos,
Wild West.
And sometimes, these people that make folders on their phones, who has the time?
And also, who has the time to freaking click a folder and then an app, especially a folder with more than one screen? Where you just swipe through?
I forgot you can even do that. What's the point?
Nuts.
People are out of their minds. Just create another folder at least.
Yeah. Or just, get your goddamn life in order.
What is the title of that folder? Apps?
Yeah, all the apps.
All my apps. Yeah, I have no idea where anything is past my first screen. And you know what? There's probably some apps that deserve to be on the first screen by now, but
the unsung heroes of Tom's iPhone.
Yeah, but old habits die hard, Tim.
It's true.
How are you doing this week? Apps aside,
Tom,
if you could even say such a ridiculous thing.
I feel like I'm beating a cold, so I feel triumphant.
All right. Well, don't count your white blood cells before they beat the virus. It's the old saying.
Yeah. I beat it last week. I beat it back. I started getting sick, and I was like, I'm gonna get bed rest, and I'm gonna start living like a monk.
I'm gonna get bedridden.
And I killed it. Before I got sick.
Last week
it
you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now it's back for more.
Yeah, it was playing possum.
Yeah, but guess what? I'm gonna knock it out once and for all. How are you this week?
Pretty good. What's today? Yeah, today's pretty good.
Thanks. All right. Well, if you didn't have anything to say.
No, I'm trying to think what I've even done, Tim. I went and saw that movie Split about a man with split personalities. I can't tell you the twist, but it's an M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, you should care, Tim.
Well, actually, you know what? I don't think I've ever liked an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
You liked Unbreakable.
No!
When it came out, I remember, Tim, you had the DVD. You were like, you guys heard DVDs? Check this one out.
My college roommate had the DVD.
Mm-hmm.
You
were
lying.
And you apparently pretended it was yours just to try and impress me.
And to be honest, I thought nothing happened in that movie. Like, just as something was about to happen, the movie ended.
Yeah, I had to recount the movie to somebody, and I was like, and I haven't seen it in such a long time. I was like, oh, it's really cool. And then I was like, let me explain the plot to you. And then I realized, I guess other stuff happened, but I don't really remember.
There's a train crash in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And the rest of the movie is Bruce Willis being like, I think I might be unbreakable.
Yeah.
Hey, I think I'm unbreakable. I'm unbreakable. And then before he does anything with his unbreakability,
right,
they're like, and then Samuel L. Jackson was arrested.
Nah, he saved somebody once.
Yeah, maybe.
He saved like one person, though. That's not like very
I
heroic.
save one person. They don't make a movie about me.
I save multiple people every day.
Yeah. How come more people don't fall onto the tracks on the subway?
I don't know, but I'm glad they don't.
Oh my God, I am so glad they don't. But like, I'm always ready to be like, well, at some point, like I'm surprised that once a week I don't have to like help pull somebody back up from the tracks. People walk so close to the tracks.
Yeah.
People are nuts.
People are nuts. If I am standing at a subway track for more than like 2 minutes, I'm thinking about how I'm going to climb out once somebody pushes me into the tracks.
Yeah. Here's my plan.
Okay.
Immediately start running the way that the train is not the way the train goes.
Okay, so not towards the train, because then you're just embracing.
Yeah,
death.
but before the train is even a glimmer in your eye,
yeah,
you fall onto the tracks. Just run to the end of the track, and then the train's gonna stop there anyway because it has to pick up all the passengers.
What if it's an express?
Shit.
Yeah, you didn't think about the expresses.
Yeah, guess I'll just accept death.
Yeah,
that's when I pull out the rosary beads.
I mean, a lot of times. The train slowed down a little bit at the express stops, though. So you might just be maimed.
Yeah. I like to think my fellow men and women would pull me out of there, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, that seems to always happen. When somebody does fall on the tracks accidentally, there's always stories about people yanking them out of there.
Subway heroes.
Yeah. You get enough people, you can yank somebody out anywhere.
Yeah. I can't think of any examples.
Subway tracks.
Yeah, not mines. You always get miners not being
yanked but then
out
they
of
get
mines.
them out of there. Once they get enough people, then they can yank them out of the mines.
Wells.
Tim, you got to watch this video of a creepy mine. This man, he goes inside the mine, and there's voices in this mine. And this is not a man that does like a creepy channel. I can send you some stuff from creepy channels. And
what the hell are you talking about? This is not a man who does a creepy channel?
Yeah. No, there are people on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
you didn't
yeah.
specify that this was YouTube.
What, did you think it was like network television?
I don't know. He sounded like a 5-year-old trying to tell me about television.
Tim, you'll feel like a 5-year-old watching these creepy channels because that's how scared you'll be.
You watch entirely too much weird YouTube stuff.
Tim, the world's a weird place nowadays. You're probably watching fake news, not knowing about what's going on. There's a creepy mine where you go inside it, and there's voices. And like I said, the guy is not a creepy YouTube guy. I mean, he might be creepy. He does mine reviews, but
wait, that's what it is. It's not like does he do creepy mine reviews, or is this just like he stumbled upon a creepy mine when he was just reviewing?
No, that's the thing.
Mines?
He does all these mine reviews. He goes to abandoned mines and just does like reviews of them, and doesn't do anything about like the creepy stuff. And this one was literally, I mean, I guess he was still reviewing the mine, but it was mostly about this new flashlight he got. And then he's going down the mine, and this guy's got if this is like a hoax, he did his work because he made hundreds of mine videos before he made one that's creepy. And he's like, can you guys hear that? Can you hear that in the video? And then he's like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. This is kind of weird. But he's like not too scared. And then at one point he's like, he turns back around. He's like, can you hear that? And all of a sudden you hear very clearly like, you're like, oh my God, what is that? That's the devil talking. And then he's like, all right, I'm getting out of here. And then that's the show. That's the whole show. And it's 4 hours. It's really good.
I don't think it'll be entirely a bad thing when Trump pulls the plug on the internet.
I thought you were going to say the plug on people going into mines. He's trying to send more people into the mines.
People in the mines.
Yeah. But,
maybe he's just a big fan of that YouTube channel.
He could be. But, I mean, I think these creepy things only happen if there's one miner in there.
Yeah.
Well, and this guy's not a miner. He's just like a guy who likes mines.
This guy's a fool.
He does it professionally, but for entertainment purposes, which is rare. Like, if you went back like 100 years and told old miners, like, one day people are going to watch magical screens.
Not people. Like,
Millions
people like
of people.
you.
Millions of people. Yeah. People who are aware of what's going on in the world, not just believing whatever's force-fed down their mouth. You watch the news every morning and they're like, in other news, everything's fine in the mines. It's not creepy. Don't worry about it. And you just believe that horse shit. Tim, enough about mines, enough about all this nonsense, because we're talking about
Let's get right into it.
We're talking about food. We're talking about a specific type of food, and that type of food...
The wettest food. God's wettest food.
Oh, the wettest food you could ever imagine. Soup.
Soup week here on TCGT.
It's soup week, all week. Tim, just before we really dive into it and get into the...
hey... Let's try not to drown in it, huh? Right?
One of my biggest fears, besides haunted mines, drowning in soup. Let me get a real quick impression on soup from you. Not an impression of soup.
Oh,
and you know what, Tim? I feel like that was an impression of a man eating soup.
Yeah. And I think this colors my. I think where I'm going to go with this.
You should have made a simmering sound.
That's the fire doing the work, though.
No, just the bubbles on the top.
Yeah. I do not like when other people eat soup because of their mouth noises.
Right.
I do not like eating soup around other people.
Dr. Seuss book, Tim? You can just talk like a normal person about it.
Because I am self-conscious about my own mouth noises.
As well you should be.
But God damn it, do I enjoy a good bowl of soup.
So do you only eat soup in private?
I try to. I try to eat most things only in private.
Do you get annoyed at your mouth noises even in private?
You know what? I don't get annoyed.
Do you have to put on a white noise machine?
I don't get annoyed at my mouth noises. That's fine. My mouth noises are right and
typical.
Just. But
regular mouth narcissist here. Thinks his mouth noise is better than everybody else's.
No, I'm just accustomed to them. I feel like I could really let my freak flag fly when I'm eating soup in private.
Okay.
I could be slurping. I feel like I don't get to enjoy the soup in public because I'm worried about.
You're just too self-conscious.
Yeah, about I got to be really quiet when I eat this soup, and then I can't just.
Well, but what if you're at a soup restaurant?
Oh, I'd never go to a soup restaurant.
Yeah, you know what? I forget I even asked that. That was a silly
all right,
question.
Tom, your impressions of soup.
Tim, this might be controversial, but the hell with soup.
You don't like soup.
I don't like soup. You know what? No, I won't even eat it.
You've never eaten soup.
Never eaten soup. No, soup. I'm never sat here. All right. God, I have so many thoughts about this.
I know, you're free. You're all red.
Let
the record show you're the one who wanted to talk about soup.
Yeah, well, it's a lot. Yeah. All right. I will like soup if it is part of a multi-course dinner.
Okay.
But my favorite soups, I just like because they have a lot of cream in them. I like a thick soup.
Yeah, that's fine. But thick soup is still a soup,
Why am I
Tom?
not just eating a bowl of cream?
Because that would kill you.
No,
I think if you ate a bowl of cream, you would die.
Yeah, but I feel like people think, when I was a kid, I could not wrap my head around the idea that sugary beverages could make you fat.
Well,
because I was like, what? No, it's you pee it out. Duh. It's not gonna.
What is your point? So what? You were dumb when you were a kid.
No, so that's how. But I feel like soup has conned everyone into thinking that soup's healthy because it's liquid, and a lot of times it's just a lot of cream.
I don't know that people necessarily
think soup is healthy. Soup is somehow run an endgame around soda, and everybody thinks soup's healthier than soda nowadays.
I mean. It probably is.
None of it. It's got a lot of cream in it. Cream of mushroom soup. It's mostly cream. It's right in the title.
You know, Teddy Roosevelt used to put heavy cream in a bowl of cereal, and that's how he'd eat his cereal.
Yeah, but what kind of cereal did they have back then?
Depressing cereal.
I'm
it's
sure
just like sticks.
I'm sure whatever
heavy cream and sticks.
I'm sure like the bowl of acorns that Teddy Roosevelt would eat with cream is probably still healthier than Lucky Charms with milk.
Tom, you understand the reason that soda's so bad for you, a sugary drink, is because of the sugar.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I don't know if you can't see it.
I don't know. I think
I gotta like leave a cup of soda out for a while and let all the water evaporate so I can be like, oh, there's all the sugar.
It's the thing that makes it brown, Tom.
No, that's coloring.
So anyway,
I
think you you're approaching this with the wrong mindset. Because you have this chip on your shoulder, apparently, that everybody seems to think all soup is healthy.
Yeah.
And that you think that's a scam, and therefore soup is not good. But I don't think anybody's saying, like...
No, that's just one of the main reasons why I think soup is not good.
Okay. But what you're saying is you like the soup that has heavy cream, that has cream in it,
but I know what it is.
Yeah, everybody knows what it is.
Not some people. They're like, oh, I'm just going to be healthy, have a soup.
Yeah.
And it's going to have this cream soup.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm just going to be healthy and have this bagel and a Starbucks Frappuccino for breakfast. You know, you can't... Look, the common man, they're dumb, Tom. All these rubes and idiots out there, they're not smart like me.
Right. You know, you're all, well, apparently you know all the facts about soups.
I know all the facts about soups.
What is your favorite type of soup? I have a list of soups I'd like to go through.
Okay.
But before I do that, I want to hear your favorite soup.
You know what?
What?
I'm going to go with this. Tortellini soup.
Tortellini soup? Tim, tortellini's its own thing. What is tortellini soup?
Hold on.
Tortellini soup, Tim, I think you just got to drain the pasta. You're not supposed to eat all that water you boil the tortellini in.
Broth, you simpleton.
Well, it turns into broth after you've boiled it, yeah.
Why don't we go through your stupid list?
What's
You've
broth?
Already pissed me off. No, you know what?
What?
This is, you know what? I'm a hostile co-host now.
I've already pissed you off, Tim. I'm speaking truth to power here.
You don't understand.
Speaking soup to power.
So if I was like chicken noodle soup and you'd just be like, yeah, chicken and noodles are a thing. Just eat a plate of pasta with noodles in it. No, I want the goddamn soup. So your arguments are all flawed, and you're an idiot, and just ask your stupid questions.
Well, just pour some water on that pasta, and then you can call it a soup.
Broth isn't just water.
Well, then you ignored my question. What is broth?
It's depending on what type of broth.
Oh, here we go. Already with the caveats. Depending on the type of broth.
You know what? Fucking look up broth on a computer then.
No, tell me about broth. Tim, I'm very interested to know.
It's taking, in the case of vegetable broth, a bunch of vegetables, or in the case of like chicken or beef, vegetables and parts of chicken or parts of cow. And
so chicken broth and beef broth still have vegetables.
I think so.
Okay. And I'm thinking of bouillon cubes.
It's kind of like you take a bunch of stuff, right? You burl it up for a long time.
How long are we talking? How many days?
Months, Tom.
Oh, wow.
Get this out of your head. Days.
Yeah. Who's got the money for all that cooking gas?
Yeah. And after a while, all the flavors, and then you strain out the
good stuff.
The stuff, and then you're just left with the broth.
Yeah, but...
So it's like all these kind of like micro flavors that come out of it, and they all play together, and it's seasoned.
So it's just like chicken water.
Kind of.
You're wasting, and then you're throwing the chicken out with the bath water, and then drinking the bath water.
I didn't know that I had to like come and defend soup. It's okay if you don't like soup, Tom.
I know it's okay. I don't need permission from you.
All right, so stop yelling at me for liking soup.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
I would think Because you have a beard. Currently, I have a beard. I wouldn't dream of eating soup with this.
Well, I have motor skills, Tom, that far surpass
yours.
It
doesn't matter about motor skills, Tim. You gotta worry about the spoon touching like your mustache.
No, just put it in your mouth.
I know.
Idiot.
So you don't sip. You don't go.
Hell no.
You just put the
mouth noises. Yeah.
And you put the whole. And then pull the spoon out?
Yeah, like Heathcliff eats an entire fish. He eats it and he pulls out the skeleton.
And you put a spoon of soup in your mouth, pull it out, just the spoon's left.
Yeah, it's an amazing trick. People are really impressed.
But when you put the whole spoon in your mouth, are you using tiny spoons? Are you using teaspoons?
No, it's a normal sized spoon, Tom.
A soup spoon or a tablespoon?
Well, what are you talking about? A tablespoon?
Like a tablespoon.
Like a measuring, like...
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the measuring kind, just a tablespoon. Just a spoon that's bigger than a teaspoon. That's a tablespoon.
That's not what the definition of a tablespoon
That is what the definition of a tablespoon is.
Anything bigger than a teaspoon?
Not anything, but one that's like a little bit bigger. You don't have in your drawer two different types of spoons, two sizes of spoons.
I don't think I do, no.
I'll get it, Tim.
What, you have tiny teaspoons for your tea parties?
May I remind you that you're under oath?
You clod, you oaf.
Oath. You're under oath, Tim. I swore you in before the podcast.
All right. Just move past it, Tom.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, if you're using like a big spoon, you're running a bigger... You got to open your mouth wide to get that spoon in there. You're running the risk of spilling the whole thing all over your face.
Again, motor skills.
Well, it must be nice.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
What did you say your favorite soup was?
Tortellini.
Oh, right.
And then you yelled at me for 15 minutes.
I don't think I've ever had tortellini soup.
Oh, well,
what
great.
else is in it besides tortellini and water?
There can be vegetables in it.
There can be, or there are? What kind of vegetables? Carrots?
Yeah, sometimes.
How much tortellini?
Some.
One in every spoonful?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. But sometimes more than one. On average, how much in every spoonful?
I can't answer that question, Tom.
Oh, geez, it sounds like you're woefully unprepared to defend soup this week then, Tim. I will say this. My favorite soup, seafood bisque. What do you think of that?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like seafood bisque?
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Tim, it's better than okay. It's very good. But...
Tom, what is bisque?
Bisque, I'm glad you asked. That was one of the questions I had going into this. Apparently, it's supposed to have seafood. That's what makes a bisque a bisque. But you see bisques out there nowadays that don't have seafood at all, like a vegetable bisque, right?
I don't know if I've ever seen a vegetable bisque.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a vegetable bisque either. But I think it's supposed
to... Wait, so the fact that you're saying seafood bisque, that's redundant?
It is redundant. I can just say bisque.
What's your favorite soup, a bisque?
Yeah. And then I could maybe clarify. I could say like, oh, lobster bisque. And then you'd be like, oh, wow, he must be a king or something to afford lobster soup.
I bet you're a big lobster guy, right?
Well, I'm getting a lobster. I'm getting a big one. Why do you think I'm a big lobster guy?
I bet
because I'm such a high roller?
No, because like you got a little of that like stereotypical like lifestyles of the rich and famous kind of like
the Good Charlotte song. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Great pull on the band Good Charlotte.
Yeah, thank you. Jesus. Tim, I met the band Good Charlotte once.
Wow.
Yeah. Can you believe that? And I didn't know they were twins. I had the same conversation with both the guys. Wait. And I thought I was just going crazy. And I was like, they're twins.
You know a lot about the band Good Charlotte.
Oh, Tim, I told you. I met them. They're good friends.
Dear, dear friends.
They're one of those, like... This happened to you? Like in college, we had all these, like bands complain. Like I worked for like the organization that like put on bands and concerts and stuff, where people just constantly complained about the bands that were coming in. Like, I've never heard of these guys. And then those bands blew up like 6 to 12 months later. And it was so annoying because people would always be like, like Pearl Jam played this show, years ago. It's like, yeah, because they weren't a big band yet. Anyway.
They weren't. You had Good Charlotte, and you should be happy about it. They're twins,
They're twins, No, I mean, Good Charlotte, but the big one was we had Outkast come play, and it was while they were recording Stankonia.
They were already pretty big at that point,
yeah,
right?
And that's why they were booked, because they were already fairly big.
But not mainstream enough.
And people were like, "Ooh, who's Outkast? I've never heard of this no-name band." And then, like 6 months later, they released like the biggest album of
all time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
Lobster. How
lobster
you were like,
bisque.
a
lobster guy.
Oh, look at me, I'm very fancy, and like lobster's just gross unless you put a ton of butter on it.
Look at me, I wear a bib.
Yeah. Well, that's because your motor skills aren't that.
God, I wish.
Developed.
Yeah, lobster is the only food I can get away with wearing the bib. I'll have the filet mignon, and you'll bring me a bib, right?
What's in a bisque, Tom?
A lot of cream.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of cream, probably some Old Bay. Bisques are usually pretty salty because of the sea. But there's like a lot of seafood bisques. Even like a lobster bisque, it's going to have a lot of stuff that's not lobster in it.
Like what?
You might get some scallions in there.
Okay.
It's still going to be shellfish, I believe.
Well, you know that scallions are not shellfish, right? Were you thinking scallops?
Scallops.
Okay.
Yeah, why'd I say scallions?
It's similar
There
words.
might be some scallions in there, maybe just to, decorate it a little bit. Crab meat.
Okay.
So maybe some clams.
Okay.
I don't think there ain't no clams in a bisque. Not flounder. It might just be lobster and scallops.
Okay. That doesn't sound right.
No, it doesn't sound right at all.
And I think a bisque is always like a little murky, so you never really know what's going on in it.
Yeah, no, there's always like a real, you're rolling the dice getting a bisque because it kind of depends on what they have on hand and like what's cheap. Like if lobster prices are through the roof, there's not going to be a lot of lobster in there.
Tom.
But if they've got lobster to get rid of, forget about it.
Like old rotten lobster.
Yeah, you get a bisque and it's basically just a lobster taking a bath.
Yeah. I think you fundamentally misunderstand what soup is.
Okay. I understand what it is. It's watery food.
Yeah, exactly. God's wettest food.
I want my food as solid as possible. That's why I mostly eat Jawbreakers. The candy,
Yeah.
It's a very hard
healthy.
food. One of the hardest foods out there today.
One of them.
I
can't think of a harder food than Jawbreaker. These literally break your jaw.
Tim, you're forgetting about bones, the hardest food out there.
God's hardest food.
God's hardest food, bones.
See, that's what you make broth out of, Tom.
Yeah.
Bones.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Boil your bones to make my broth.
What's that from?
Life.
Wow. Who told you that?
God.
Oh, no. Oh, are you having your visions again?
Yeah.
He's telling you boil the bones to make my broth?
He's telling me he's going to boil my bones.
Oh, he's threatening you.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's a vengeful one.
Yeah, he was mad about something you did?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I am a little stinker.
He said, you little stinker, I'm going to boil your bones.
It's like,
wow,
God's all talk.
What a terrifying God. You know what? Even if somebody appeared in front of me and told me they were going to boil my bones, even if they weren't God, I would be pretty scared.
Yeah. Not as brave as I am, Tom.
All right, Tim. I haven't even gotten to soups. And
Yeah.
I'd like to give another caveat, another soup that I'd like to give a shout out to that I like.
Okay.
I'm realizing as I look through this list that actually I think there are a lot of soups I like, and actually now I'm getting a hankering for soup.
It's a great wintertime meal, Tom.
Yeah. But here's... All right. There's one of my problems with soup.
Wait, hold on. Let's start with the positive. What's the other soup you like?
I like tomato soup a lot.
Okay.
But...
With a grilled cheese. Okay,
With
go.
a grilled cheese.
Yeah, that's fine.
Out of this world.
Things can complement each other, Tom.
Because it's kind of just like a really good grilled cheese sauce. It's like a dipping sauce for grilled cheese.
Yeah, if you're a disgusting creep. But
why does that make me disgusting?
Stop dipping things in things.
Why do you care? Wouldn't you rather I dip than slurp?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, go on. Sorry. You were going to attack, I think, me again for some reason.
Well, Tim, if you think of yourself as soup, then that's it's not my problem. But another problem I have...
I'm reverse soup.
What is that? Oh, because
all the
you're
liquids
so
on
solid?
the inside.
Yeah, but inside it's mostly soup.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, think about all the water inside you that's just sitting there.
That's blood, Tom. That's blood.
There's some water too.
You just call every liquid water.
Tim,
broth is not water.
No,
blood is not water.
You don't have an open circulatory system where all of your organs are just bathed in blood like a bug or something.
You don't know anything about
you don't know anything
bathing
about
my
me.
organs.
I might have an open circulatory system. The man with an open circulatory system.
Yeah, it also undercuts your point when you say circulatory.
Circulatory. Well, it's all in a big circle, you see. Anyway, I don't like the idea. I don't like soup when people are like, have some soup. It'll warm me up inside. I never want to be warmed up inside. I'm never cold inside. What? Why is that weird? I'm never cold inside. I'm always hot. And even if I'm cold, I want to be in a place warm. My tummy's not cold.
First of all, don't say tummy. Second of all, I think you're really reading into it'll warm you up inside a little too literally.
It's about like my heart. It'll warm your heart.
No, I think they're like, you're cold. Mm-hmm. Have this as it's warm.
Yeah.
Like you drink a hot beverage when you're cold, right?
To keep my hands warm sometimes. But I could drink a cold beverage. Tim, the coldest day of the year, you can give me a glass of ice water, I'll still drink it.
You're a real tough guy.
Yeah, I'll drink it outside even.
Fucking American hero, Tom.
So that's one of the other problems I have with soup, that I never need to
You would not drink a glass of ice cold water outside on the coldest day of the year.
Yeah, I would, Tim. The coldest day of the year is probably still ahead of us. Maybe
we'll make this part of the show.
Yeah, we'll make it a big fun bonus thing where we'll put up a video of me drinking a glass of water outside.
Yeah, you don't go outside if
it's too cold now.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So this braggadocio. Yeah, anybody could drink a glass of water, but you're acting like it's some sort of heroic feat.
I'm just saying that I don't need warm things to be outside. I mean, I need warm clothes and stuff, but I don't need like warm liquid. I don't need warm
Nobody
food.
needs it. It's nice to have warm things when you're cold.
Sure.
Sorry.
You buy into that. Tim, you're a rube buying into big soup, telling you all these things you need. All right. I want to go over some of these soups with you and get your thoughts.
All right, if I give my thought, are you just going to yell at me and tell me how
I might.
I'm wrong?
I mean, if your thought's wrong, I might.
It's pretty contentious for a soup episode.
I knew it would be, Tim. We almost killed each other when we did the sandwiches episode, and we started off as such great pals who could agree that sandwiches were good.
Yeah.
Butternut squash.
I'm not a big squash fan, Tom.
Squash is, I don't know if I've ever seen a squash.
You have seen a squash.
A squash is, how is there a vegetable you can make spaghetti out of, and then you can also make it into a soup?
Do you understand, like, how you make spaghetti squash?
No.
It's like you pull it off in strings. Like, you had to, like, use
that makes
thing.
a lot of sense.
Like, on the inside, you had to, like, use a tool to do it.
I thought it was like he cracked it open, there was spaghetti in there.
That would be the world's greatest vegetable.
Oh, I think that would be creepy. It would look like organs.
Yeah, but hey.
You just open that thing up and spaghetti. In my mind, the spaghetti's already got tomato sauce on it, too. So it's making it more grotesque. Then how do you make it into a soup?
Yeah, I think you puree it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's like a creamy kind of soup. You put some cream in
Yeah,
it.
I'm not a huge fan of like the pureed soups.
Really?
I like a broth with shit floating in it. It's like you're eating a regular meal, but it's all wet.
But it's raining outside.
Yeah. It really warms you up inside, Tom.
Butternut squash.
Warms up your guts.
Butternut squash soup is one of those soups that I always think I don't like, and then I'm like made to eat it at like something fancy or like I go to a lot of like museum openings, a lot of
oh yeah, you do.
A lot of $5,000 plate dinners for politicians.
Yeah.
And
guess what, Tom? If you had ever been to one of those, food sucks.
Does it?
The food is the worst food ever. Nobody eats the food.
You would think for paying that kind of money.
You're not paying for the dinner, my friend.
You're paying for access.
You're paying to kiss the future president.
Is that an implication that you went to one of these for our current president, Donald Trump, and kissed him?
I've kissed so many future presidents, Tom.
So butternut squash soup, one of those soups that I would never order, but then when I get it, I'm like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. When do you ever get it? I don't think you've ever had a butternut squash
Oh, I've
soup.
had butternut squash. I just had some at Christmas because that was the last time that I thought, like, I don't really like this. And I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It wasn't this Christmas. It was last Christmas. Now that I'm remembering. So your take on it is not, you don't like pureed soups.
Yeah, but I'm mostly neutral on all soups. They're fine.
Broccoli and well, this is going to be a lot of fun. Broccoli and cheese.
Well, I think you're opinionated enough for the both of us on this. Look, I'm just being honest, Tom.
Broccoli and cheese soup.
Yeah, hell yeah. That shouldn't be allowed to be called a soup.
Well, that brings me to my next one, cheese soup.
All right.
Have you ever had cheese soup? Campbell's makes a cheese soup.
I've used it for
like a dip or
for
something,
a mac
right?
and cheese.
Ooh, tell me more about that.
It's one of the you get this. It's a can of cheese soup.
All right.
But it's like gelatinous. It's like it comes out of the can like
because it's condensed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you put that. I shredded a lot of different cheeses, and I think I put it in the slow cooker. Maybe
no noodles?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, Macless mac and cheese.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's gluten free that way.
I remember as a kid, because I think it's only supposed to be used as like an ingredient for things. I don't think it's supposed to really be eaten as its own soup.
Yeah, that would
Or
be...
you're supposed to like put broccoli in it. You're supposed to put things in it. And it's like, oh, this is like a base of cheese soup. But I remember as a kid always like demanding cheese soup.
And it's cheese, and cheese is delicious, and you were a shitty kid.
Yeah. I would eat either cheese soup or macaroni and cheese with hot dogs chopped up in it.
Ugh.
Wow, come on.
Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I cannot eat a hot dog without a bun.
What? Why not?
Because it's gross. I need something to in between to serve as a barrier.
I mean, I don't disagree that the bun adds some much needed change in texture. You've got the competing
I've always
textures.
been grossed out by a bite of a hot dog that is not either covered in a condiment or the bun.
So you'll eat a bunless hot dog with condiments on it, which just seems like a mess.
Yeah, like the end, like when a hot dog is a little longer than the bun.
Mm-hmm. So that's what you're talking about? That if a hot dog's a little bit bigger than the bun, you'll still eat that part?
Yeah,
the part that overhangs?
Ketchup or mustard on it. Otherwise, it's kind of a gross bite for me.
Will you ever throw that part out when nobody's looking?
I don't think so. No. Normally, you can mash it into the bun enough.
You don't need to mash it in. Just bite it. It's fine.
I just don't like it. It's fine that I don't like the way something tastes.
I like when a hot dog's overhanging the bun.
Great.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Jesus Christ. Tom, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you take out of a McDonald's Quarter Pounder without cheese, would you take out that patty?
And
scrape off all the condiments.
Okay. I mean, you could probably not put the condiments on in the first place.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if we went and got it, would you would you be able to eat that?
I would rather not.
Yeah, isn't that crazy though? Like that's how I feel about a hot dog.
But I would pay any price for a quarter pounder right now.
Yeah, sure. And I love a hot dog in a bun.
In the proper context.
Exactly.
But you got it with the mac and cheese. You got all that stuff. I feel like that helps.
Yeah, that probably does help.
Yeah. Tim, you know what? You come over this week and I'll make you some mac and cheese with little hot dogs in it.
Thanks.
The next soup, Tim, I take it back. This is my favorite soup. I said a bisque was my favorite soup. Maybe a bisque still is my favorite soup now that I think about it. Because I'm imagining if I've seen... All right, let me lay it out.
Just say the name of the goddamn soup,
no,
you
Tim,
idiot.
I'm building tension. Everybody's on the edge of their seat wanting to know what soup this is. If I walk into a place and they're like, we got 2 soups today, and one of them's seafood bisque, and one of them's this other soup, I'm going to get the seafood bisque. But if I'm going there every day, I'm going to get sick of seafood bisque. This other soup, I'm not going to get sick of as quickly. And the name of that soup is coming right after the break. Tim, before the break, I mentioned my favorite soup, and I know people are on the edge of their seats wanting to know what it is.
I hate this episode so much, Tom. I hate it. I hate it, and I hate you, and I don't want to do this show anymore.
Now, we've already talked about butternut squash soup. No, my favorite soup? French onion soup.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
French onion soup.
That's up there.
The best soup.
You know what?
Such a good soup.
Yeah, I feel like you can't call it your favorite soup.
Why?
Because it's too much. Like, it's too much of a... there's no other soup like it. Because, like, it's just a bunch of onions in broth and then, like, cheese melted on top of it with bread.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like... Yeah, of course that's going to be the best thing.
No, but
like,
I'll tell you what.
It's barely actually a soup.
But I'll tell you what, Tim. Don't get me wrong, I love cheese and I love bread. But I'll eat a cheeseless, breadless onion soup. What? No problem. And love it.
Really?
Tim, onions are one of my favorite food. And it's like there are very few onion-based dishes out there. You got the bloomin' onion. And you got French onion soup.
Oh, you know what? We are in agreement years ago on our Thanksgiving episode. Yeah. Those little onions in the cream sauce.
Creamed onions.
Yeah. My favorite of the offerings.
We were also in agreement when we were talking about pizza that onions should become one of the more standard toppings that is available.
Couple of onion men here. Maybe if I really do get upset if we have another episode like this where I don't ever want to do it again, you should extend the
onion branch,
the onion of peace.
Yeah,
and we'll do an onion episode.
Well, maybe if I've got the onions to do it.
Is that a phrase?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, check out the onions on this guy.
I like French onion soup.
French onion soup's a great soup. I like the texture of the onions in it.
Is the soup French or is the onion French?
That's a real good question.
I've never seen a French onion.
Ooh la la. I'm going to assume that it's the soup that is French.
Yeah.
Because the French came up with soup.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. See, this is this might.
I actually have a few interesting facts here about soup.
Do you want to keep going through the list of soups?
All
first?
right, then we'll get to the interesting facts about soups.
Okay.
Chicken tortilla soup.
I don't. Yeah.
It's misleading because there's tortilla in it, but not that much. Like you're kind of like I'm always thinking like chicken tortilla soup because it's usually like a Mexican soup. I'm thinking like a burrito bowl, great. Too much, too wet.
A soup too wet?
Soup too wet.
I've never. The day will never come that a soup can be too wet.
Chicken tortilla soup always sounds really good to me, but it's really
eat a lot of soups that I've never had,
and that's why I don't like them. But it's really chicken noodle soup, just with like a little bit of tortilla in there.
Tom, what?
And
I think you don't understand
adapt well to water.
Is that there's no standard for any of these soups.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so disgusting. The whole industry. What about chicken noodle soup?
I think it's fine. It's classic. Old standby.
You eat it when you're sick, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that and ginger ale. Kind of like I can't drink ginger ale, and I love ginger.
Because it reminds you of
It reminds
being
me
sick.
of having a stomach bug when I was 7 years old, and then I just think of puke, and I have to puke. If you ever see me take a sip of ginger ale, get out the poncho. It's like front row at a Gallagher show.
When I was one of the earliest memories that I have is throwing up in my parents' bed. Like coming into their bedroom, being like 3 years old, like I don't feel so good, and then just puking all over their bed.
You're a great son.
And the puke was 100% Kool-Aid and whole pepperonis. I distinctly remember this.
How did you get the whole
I don't know.
Did you roll them up and like inhale them?
No, I think I had like pepperoni pizza, and I took all the pepperonis off and ate them separately, but didn't chew them.
How did you swallow them without chewing them?
I don't know, and I don't know if somebody like should have been watching me to make sure I wasn't doing anything weird.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, I can still see just these like the comforter of my parents' bed just like covered in red Kool-Aid and whole pepperonis. So that's why one of the reasons why I can't eat Kool-Aid and pepperoni soup anymore. But what about split pea soup?
I might not have ever had it.
I don't think I've ever had it either. That seems like something they just always make jokes about in cartoons.
And because of The Exorcist, because they use that for the puke.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it looks like puke.
Yeah.
All right. And then I've got two more general soupish things.
I had a lot to talk about soups, and we didn't get to it because you have these dangerous ideas.
Stop calling my ideas dangerous every week.
It's feel like you called, like this was a real bait and switch. You're like, hey, we're going to talk about soups. And then you took the stage and just ripped the shit out of soups like you had some weird agenda. And now you're coming around. You're like, actually, these soups are good.
Stews. What do you think about stews, Tim?
I never really understood the difference between a stew and a soup.
So a lot of people think that there really isn't that much difference, but the consensus seems to be that a stew is not as wet as a soup.
Less
I'm on
water,
board. Less liquid in general.
I'm on board.
That's why you get when you hear about a beefy stew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just soggy meat.
Soggy meat. Give me that wet meat.
Give me that wet meat, baby.
And now another, and I'd be surprised if you've had this, Tim, because you seem like a simple man. What about a cold soup?
Like a gazpacho?
Like a gazpacho.
Yeah, I've had it.
And?
Not really that into it. Because they tend to be on the like pureed side, right? Like, and I'm just not a big fan.
I had, I want to say it was watermelon soup, and it was out of this world. But I was like, this is just a smoothie, guys. Give me a lot more of this in a straw.
Yeah.
Also,
stop cheaping out on the watermelon. Stop serving this in a shot glass at a wedding.
No. It was still in a soup bowl. But it was pureed. I think it had other stuff in it to make, thicken it up a little bit. It was delicious. What do you think about? God, we're gonna have to do a double-size episode. What do you think about Campbell's soup to go, Tim? The soup you can drink.
I didn't even know about it.
You didn't know about this?
Stop
Tim,
yelling
it's been
at me.
around
Jesus
forever.
Christ.
It's soup you can drink. It's in like a cup that
Tom,
you can hold.
First of all, stop yelling at me for not knowing about like gimmicky.
Well, I just don't know how you can sit there and defend soup when you know so little about it.
Oh, God.
You don't know about Campbell's soup to go?
Tell me about Campbell's soup to go.
Tim, you've seen commercials for Campbell's soup to go.
I haven't. I don't watch the freaking
The Soup Channel
superhero TV shows that you watch.
Tim, are you under the impression that it's superhero shows? And that they've just got a lot of soup-based advertising on these things? It's basically, you know what? Hats off to the folks at Campbell for having the balls to be like, look, everybody, the life would be a lot easier if it was socially acceptable to just drink soup. Putting the spoon in soup, that's just, pageantry. Just drink soup. So it's basically just like a cup and you microwave it, and then it's got like a hole, and you drink it like a coffee.
Okay. So It's like broth?
It's like all kinds of soups.
Do you like it?
I do, but I don't get it that often. I think it's very salty.
Yeah.
It's another big soup problem.
Too much sodium, not if you make it yourself.
Yeah, but then it won't taste good because it doesn't have salt in it.
You can put salt. You can put a lot of salt in something before you approach the level of salt that's in a can of soup.
I still don't completely understand A, why salt's bad, and B, why we even need salt in the first place.
Okay.
Okay.
I would try to have a discussion about that, but I think you'll yell at me for 15 minutes.
Also, cans are weird, right?
Yeah, cans are weird.
What? Come on.
I mean,
you put something in a can and then it's fine?
Yeah, it's fresh. It's airtight.
How do we know? We've never seen inside a can. We don't even have the technology.
We can put a camera inside a can.
You can't put a camera in a can? Maybe a wireless camera.
Yeah.
But what
They put cameras up butts, Tom.
What?
You could put a cell phone in a can.
In my butt? Oh.
In a can.
No, you can't put a cell phone. It had to be a big can. Yeah. Wait, are we talking about butts or cans? Are we using the slang term for butts now? God, this is like a regular who's on first.
Wait, you've never seen...
Just put that cell phone in my can. Yo! What?
I hate this episode so much.
Tim, let me get to my interesting facts.
All right.
The word restaurant. What? The word restaurant was first used in France in the 16th century to refer to a highly concentrated, inexpensive soup sold by street vendors that was advertised as an antidote to physical exhaustion. So they used to call soup restaurants.
Cool.
And you know what they called restaurants?
What?
Nothing. They didn't exist yet. And then when restaurants came around, they were like, we got to come up with a name for this. Let's just call them restaurants. And then people are like, no, restaurants are the things you eat. And they're like, well, we'll see about that.
I wake up the next morning. It's like front page of the Times. Soup. That's the food now.
In 1765, a Parisian entrepreneur opened a shop specializing in such soups. This prompted the use of the modern word restaurant for the eating establishments.
Cool.
Like in old days, Tim, there weren't restaurants.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I guess.
Why?
I mean, there weren't a lot of things.
It took so long to come up with the idea of a restaurant.
People were, doing it for themselves.
Yeah, well.
Hunting, gathering.
But apparently they were they had such physical exhaustion that they were looking for an antidote. And the antidote was soup, but the soups were called restaurants.
Yeah, I know. You've mentioned that 3 times now. We get it. Soup used to be called restaurant.
My second fact is restaurants are a relatively new idea.
Why? Why are you doing this?
I would never go to just a soup restaurant, would you?
Do you remember when that guy who was called the Soup Nazi on Seinfeld?
Yeah, and then he was the Soup Nutsy.
No, he was...
the Soup Man.
The Soup Man.
Yeah.
Which sucks for him because he was just like, they're calling me a Nazi on national television, but guess what? I'll at least get to cash in on the zeitgeist. And, and it's like... And then he was probably like going to get funding.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we can't open a restaurant called Nazi.
Yeah, you can't open a restaurant with the word Nazi in...
So he was like, okay, we'll just call it the Soup Guy. Then everyone will know.
The Soup Man.
The Soup Man. And they're like, how would people know? And he's like, we'll put my picture on it. And it's like, you're not the actor who was on television.
And meanwhile, that actor opened up his own soup company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
The Soup Man. I've had the Soup Man. Pretty good soup.
There used to be one when there was nothing in Greenpoint. When we first moved to Greenpoint, there was one that opened up on Manhattan
really?
Avenue. It was the first like chain thing that came through there, and it lasted like a month.
Yeah, because I barely remember that. I never went there.
I went in there once and like looked at the menu, and I was like, "What? I don't want soup," and left.
Sometimes you would go to that place, and it was like a fast food place, basically, like a Subway sandwiches, but for soup.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, in credit to them, it was like, these are the soups we have today. But a lot of times those soups sucked.
Yeah.
Portable soup was devised in the 18th century by boiling seasoned meat until a thick, resinous syrup was left that could be dried and stored for months at a time.
You said these were interesting facts?
Yeah. Portable soup.
Soup to go.
Yeah.
Man, I was so ignorant about it.
Before then, the soup was here to stay. So that's my thoughts about soup.
Those were your interesting facts?
Oh, wait. No, I have another.
You've been teasing them for like the last 45 minutes, and we'll get to the interesting facts.
And they didn't disappoint. I have a controversial, possibly controversial thing to say about soups. SpaghettiOs are soup. What? Do you agree or disagree? You have to think about it. You've never really. It's a lot to take in. Are you saying
because like the sauce is very thin and there's a lot of it?
Yeah, it's a soup, man. Look, it's in the soup aisle. It's next to all the soups.
You keep talking to me like I'm arguing the opposite point. And I'm not. I don't. Yeah, there's a case to be made for that, I guess.
Oh, a case to be made. Oh, maybe we'll kick the can down the road a little bit further and not decide if SpaghettiOs are soup or not. God, you're a coward. Real coward. I'm not afraid to tell Chef Boyardee that he's making soups.
I don't think he'd disagree with you.
Oh, he's long dead.
Thank God.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can email us, completeguideeverything@gmail.com. Send us your problems there. We haven't done Solves Your Problem in a while because just got a lot to say.
A lot of great opinions. A lot of valuable opinions.
Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/completeguide. Follow us on Twitter @completeguide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TomReynolds.
Follow me on those things @YourPalTim.
Check out our Reddit subreddit, r/TCGTE.
That's my favorite thing. Please go post in that.
We had some interesting posts. We had a post, somebody who works for the circus.
Yeah, after our circus episode.
Yeah, giving some insight. This guy seemed to know more about circuses than even us through working for the circus.
Yeah. I wonder if the Soup Man is going to show up on Reddit next week.
Yeah, and say, no podcast for you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Could you imagine?
Imagine.
You can also support the show by supporting our sponsors, going to tcgt.com/Amazon for all your Amazonian needs, and by supporting us on Patreon, tcgt.com/pledge, where you get fun bonus stuff like Fast Food Friday, a.k.a. The News, starring Tim and Tom, which comes out on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Where we cover all the news that's fit to print.
Yeah. I mean, we still have a couple in the can that are called The News.
Now, is that a butt or is that a can?
It's an actual soup can.
Oh, that sounds like a
full
dangerous...
of human butts.
What? That's got to be a big can or some small butts.
Small butts.
Okay, good. What were you going to say?
They're concentrated.
Oh, condensed.
Condensed.
Last time I made soup, I made condensed soup without knowing it was condensed.
You, a smart man like you, just made a bonehead mistake like that?
I needed to add water. I thought it was like a kid-sized soup.
For a kid like you?
Yeah, I was like,
oh, this is great. Kid size, like me.
And I was like, oh, kids must like thick soup, huh?
Do you ever forget that you're a grown man?
Oh, constantly.
Yeah, it's just like, why is this grown-up being so mean to me?
Yeah,
it's like, it's because I'm a fellow grown-up.
Yeah, it usually happens when I'm in the supermarket and I'm screaming because I'm lost.
I had something I wanted to ask you.
Yes, I'm all ears. We'll sit here all day until you can remember. Was it about soup?
Oh, yeah. It was about soup. Bread bowl, yay or nay? Lightning round. This is it.
Yay, but I won't eat the whole thing.
Yeah, but there's something nice
I'll
about...
eat the inside part, but the outside, you know what? That's for the birds.
Too much bread. Give it to the birds.
Yeah, bring it outside, throw it out in the dumpster for all the birds.
Yeah.
Seagulls love bread. Boy, I'll tell you what. All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.